understanding how FICO scores work and what you need to know. In this video, I'm going to talk about how FICO scores are calculated, the factors that influence them, and how people can improve their credit scores. Because if you understand how FICO scores work, you will know the algorithm. I know we hear that a lot about algorithms. But before I get started, and we're going to talk fully about how FICO scores work, and I'm going to make a big promise. I'm going to tell you exactly some things that you can do to, number one, rebuild your credit if your FICO score is low, and then also to improve your credit score if you've kind of just been stuck with your FICO scores in one area. I want to talk a little bit about how important credit is, but I'm going to talk about it in a sense of personal. Years ago, in 1994, actually, me and my wife, we sat down and we were 300 grand in debt, struggling to make ends meet. I had started a business, my advertising company, very successful, but I ended up just broke with a lot of money coming in. That's basically what had happened. And we sat down and we made that decision. And I believe that because we sat down, made that decision, I'm in the position to be able to help you today. And I'm bringing that up because I'm really starting to see the fruits of what I planted for myself and my family transition over to my children. My youngest daughter, I want to speak about her. My youngest daughter, Whitney. So she has 4 kids, but she's an amazing person. But also, and she watched the video, so some of the time I'm talking and bragging about you. But what she's done, and I believe that because of the decisions that number one, my wife and I are still together, going on 36 years of being married, but also the example that we set financially, because what it's done is it transitioned to her and her husband, and it has put them, number one, they're in a good position at a young age, a very good position, a way better position than where me and my wife were at. But also, not just talking about finances and money, because they're in a good position. And even though they have 4 boys, young boys, they decided to have 2 young kids as foster care to help them out too. Rather than having them be somewhere stuck in the system, they are helping out with them as as foster parents. And when we did a little swimming activity thing this weekend, and like I was, when I met the 2 young boys, it was strange, because I was like, because I took care, me and my wife, I give both of us the credit on this. We took care of things, and we were able to get our children that had an opportunity to be in a better position. And then because they're in a certain position and understanding about credit, debt, finances, money, all of that stuff, they're able to extend and give help to 2 foster children. And in my interactions with the foster children, we were out there at the swimming park. I can see, I'm like a total believer that having foster parents that can be in kids' lives, because I saw a difference from when they first were interacting, and the way that they were quiet and not, they were kind of reserved. And we're talking about very young children. And then they opened up. And they opened up to where they feel like they have life. And I don't believe that any child should ever feel like they don't have no security, no way to eat, guessing when they're going to have a meal, guessing if there's going to be, struggle in the family. Not to say that stuff is perfect, but what I'm saying is that where you just don't want those types of things for children. And I know that all of us done been through a lot of stuff. So I want to congratulate her on helping those two children out with the big load that she has with the four grandchildren already. So now let's get right to it. So the moral of the story is by you getting your financial house in order, by you getting your credit in order, you could have a whole different benefit later in your life that you wouldn't even expect it. I would have never expected that by us setting that example, that it could lead to something like this, where you're actually, helping other people that wasn't able to help themselves. All right, so thank everyone for coming back to the channel today. We're going to break down how FICO scores work, what they are, how they're calculated, and how you can improve your scores for better financial opportunities. If you're looking to get qualified for a mortgage, a car loan, credit card with great terms, this video is for you. And also be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel to get more tips on credit repair and boosting your scores. All right, so the first section that we're going to talk about is what is a FICO score. There's a big mass confusion. Some people see their Vantage score. Some people see their credit score. In this video, we're going to talk solely about FICO scores. So with your FICO score, it's a 3-digit number from 300 to 850 used by lenders to assess the riskiness and your credit worthiness. Sorry about that. Messing up on my notes here. It was created by the Fair Isaac Corporation, FICO, and it's used by 90% of the top lenders. Higher scores mean lower risk, better loan approvals, and lower interest rates. You know what my motto is. People who have bad credit pay more for the same things that people with good credit pay less for. So it makes it very difficult for you to be able to save money for your emergency fund, retirement, investment, start a business. Makes it very difficult if you have bad credit, because just with your everyday needs, loans that you get, auto loans, even your mortgage, you're going to pay more for the same things that people with high credit scores pay less for. So now, another misconception is that only rich people have high scores. That is false. It's about credit management. And also checking your credit scores, that some people think that if they check their credit score, that they're going to get an inquiry. That's false. When you check your credit score, those are soft inquiries and they do not hurt your credit. As a matter of fact, when you sign up for credit monitoring services, they're doing a pool based off of your private information. They're doing a pool. So that is not going to do anything to hurt your credit. So your FICO score is calculated using 5 main factors. Payment history, which is 35%, the most common factor. Late payments, collections, bankruptcies can make your score drop down considerably. And then another tip that I want you to be aware of is always at least make the minimum balance payment on time. So if you're struggling, like if you're potentially struggling right now and you know that your scores are fluctuating, or you're trying to, get yourself back in order, you got to make those payments on time, even if it's the minimum payment. I know you might feel that you're not getting anywhere. That's the reason why a lot of people actually stop making minimum payments and just stop paying altogether, is because they feel like they're not getting anywhere. I'm here to tell you, even making those minimum payments, you will get somewhere. And it's also going to help your payment history. The next thing is credit utilization. That counts for 30% of your FICO score. So how much credit you use versus your limit. Very important. So if you have a $10,000 limit and you're using $10,000 of it, that's not going to work good for you. That's going to count against you with the algorithm, because they don't want you to use all of your credit all the time. I know it doesn't sound right. It's like, why would they give me that amount if they don't want me to use it? the algorithm is written that way. It's based on the riskiness. And if you're using too much of your available credit, or if you're not paying it off by the statement date, you're going to see that fluctuation in your credit scores. So also the next one is number 3, length of credit history counts 15%. How long have you had accounts open? So the longer the history, the better the score. Also, another tip is don't close open accounts unless necessary. Now, if you're not using a credit card anymore and they're charging you a yearly fee and you're not using it anymore, yeah, don't pay the yearly fee just to have it if you want to try to keep your score up. Just, you're going to have to take that ding, because when you take, it's not going to be a negative one, but when you close that account, that open credit line that you had, when you close it out, it's going to make your scores go down, but they will work their way back up. But if you are trying, you can also call your company and say, hey, I'm going to keep this, and you charge a little bit per year, and you don't have to worry about the fee. I know that they're always willing to negotiate on that, because they make a little bit of money when you go out there and charge for gas or clothes or whatever you're doing. Even if you're paying it off, they just want to make more to have you use it and pay the minimum payments on it. But if you keep it open, your scores will stay the same or even go up over time, because you had that open account, and every month that goes by, that extends that history that you had with that account. The next thing is new credit inquiries. It counts for 10%, and it's often when you apply for new credit. Hard inquiries are applying for loans, credit cards. They can lower your score a little bit, especially if you don't get approved, but they will bounce up. I've seen fluctuation of 2 to 5 points just on the inquiry. And then some of the times when you get approved for the credit, your score can go down and then it'll pop up the next month, as long as you don't overuse that credit. Now, when I talk about overusing, you want to stay within 30% or lower. And also if you, a lot of the fintech companies, a lot of the credit card companies now offer what's called a soft pull. That's where you don't have to, they're not going to hurt your credit. They're going to just look at your credit. And then if you accept the credit card or the loan, then they're going to do the hard pull. So they're actually making the system to be able to not have people have too many pulls on their credit by offering the soft inquiry pulls. The next thing is the credit mix. It counts for 10%. What type of credit do you have? Do you have a mix of credit cards, loans, mortgages? All of that stuff helps to boost your score, to have a different mix. Like you got your mortgage over here, you're paying on that. You got your car note, you're paying on that. You got some credit card, you got a personal loan. All of that stuff makes a big mix. And then also to throw into the mixes, and this helps really with your Vantage score, which some companies will look at the Vantage score, is you want to get any of the apps like the Netflix and cell phones, and if you're paying rent, all of that stuff, you want to have that put on there. And we'll talk about that in another video, because that'll be important, because some companies are utilizing a mixture of FICO and Vantage score. The Vantage score is where those alternative credit type services can put information on your credit reports, and you will get credit for them. So the next thing, let's talk about how to improve your FICO score. The practical steps. Pay on time. Some people set up auto pay or set up a reminder system. I set up a reminder system. I do it on a spreadsheet, and I know at a certain time per month, I start to work on any of our household bills that we got to pay. I call them household investments, because I believe that everything that I pay is like an investment in my household to keep a certain lifestyle. The next thing is you want to lower your credit utilization, pay down balances, increase credit card limits. Now, this is, I've given this advice before, and I want you to be very careful with this, so please listen. If you have the goal of trying to increase your scores, you got excellent payment history, but you're just seeing that you can't get it, move it up, you can call your companies to see if they could do a soft pull to increase your credit limits. But don't go out there and use that credit. Listen to me. Say it to me. Steve, I will not go out there and use that credit. I'm going to continue to pay it down, but it's going to help you get a better credit score by doing that. Because remember, what did I say earlier? Credit utilization, if you're not using all of the available credit, is going to help you with the algorithm. This is something that helps you with the algorithm. So the next thing, the next tip is to avoid too many credit applications. Spread them out. Look for the ones that will allow a soft pull. Most companies are offering that. The next one is keep old accounts open. The longer the history, that helps you. Diversify your credit. Have a credit mix, but also be very responsible about how you use your credit. So if you have bad credit, number one, get your credit repaired. And if you had bad credit and you're trying to rebuild it, look for different credit builder products that are out there. Rent reporting if you don't own a home. Your Netflix and your different apps that are out there. Your utilities if they're not reporting them. Cell phone, cable bills. There's a whole bunch of different programs that are out there, including getting a secure credit card or an authorized user. Those are some some tools that people can use to start to rebuild their credit. But most of all, if your credit is messed up, you need to start getting your credit fixed. So if you need help repairing your credit, please visit thecreditrepairshop.com. You can watch the video, What Makes a Difference, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, I want to give you 2 options. You can upload, if you got the letter, you can upload a PDF or a JPEG copy of the letter into summonsmaster.com. Debt validation is going to create a solid, rock solid, exclusive debt validation letter based off of the debt validation letter that debt collector sent to you. This is something that's very unique and exclusive. Or you can grab my 3-pack of letters absolutely free. You can make a donation for using those. Statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. If you're being sued by debt collectors, contact my office, or you can visit summonsmaster.com and you can read all about the services that are available on there. And you can either use the help yourself tool or you can contact us at the office. Thank you for your time. Make it a great day. Don't let anyone tell you that you are not important. Don't let anyone tell you anything, including me. You make your own decisions. You become the strong person, because no matter where I help you get to, no matter where someone else helps you get to, no matter where you help yourself get to a certain level in life, you're going to have to continue stand strong to make sure that you know that the power comes from the inside, not from the outside. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.